Hey folks, Ray from Lovey RV. Today I'm doing a little preventative maintenance on my Dometic fridge. I have a Dometic, pretty standard Dometic fridge. It's in a lot of trailers. It's not a fancy one, double door or anything. It's just your run-of-the-mill one. I think the model number I have here is DM2652. It's a 2016 model. What happened to our old one that was in the trailer? Our trailer is 2011, and about the 5-year mark it melted down, and one of the cooling pipes sprung a leak and ammonia came out. Also that fridge had a problem one time with the electric element. I had to replace it, so it never was a really great fridge. But this replacement is the exact same model number, but they changed the cooling piping, I noticed, and this one works really well. Keeps ice cream hard, all that. We haven't had a lick of problems with it. But in the owner's manual they suggest, you know, to go in there and you want to look up into the vent and check for insect webs or birds' nests or anything. You don't want anything blocking the flow of air through it. You can see mine comes out the roof up there. So there's a stack that the air travels up. I actually installed some fans in there to aid that, especially for the warm summertime. I've had these Titan fans in for about 2 years now. It's our second boondocking season with them, and they're still quiet. They work really well. They have an automated fan speed control here, so they only come on when it gets warm enough. There's a temperature sensor, then those two fans come. And they're set on that grill, so they're pushing the cool air in, and then it'll go up. And I actually installed a second set of fans. That was a review company sent me out for some fans. I don't think you need 2 sets, but I actually have a second set up there. So in the really warm summer days, I will turn those on from another control panel inside my rig, so I can have both bottom fans pushing air in and the top fans sucking them out, so I get quite a good airflow through there. So anyway, I've checked that. There's nothing up there. I'm gonna take this apart and pull out the burner. That's the main reason for this maintenance today. I kind of, every once in a while, I'll peer in behind there and check the flame, make sure it's a nice blue flame. You don't want too much yellow in it. Basically, you want that burning nice and clean and hot so that it works really well. But the manual does suggest in here, this is just the operating instructions, and they suggest pull it apart every once in a while and have a good look at that, and also check your gas piping for leaks and stuff. So, oh, you can see my fans coming on there. They're really nice and quiet. Don't move a whole lot of air, but they really help. And also I'll check things when I have it apart. I'll check the drain tube here. This is where inside the fridge is a drip tray, and then it comes outside and it just dumps the water on the ground. But you want it to be in good condition and not leaking water inside. Also, this, you see, I have it you want it looped, so it makes sort of a P-trap so that warm air can't get back into your fridge and cause problems. So let's undo a few screws over here. Up front, I'm not an RV technician or anything, so you want to check your own manuals, and also most people might want to take it to a dealer to do this, but it's such a small job. I prefer to do it myself just to save time and not dumping it off at a dealer. And it's so hard to get in nowadays to get stuff done. So this is a pretty minor job, but like I say, I'm not a technician, so this is more for entertainment purposes. This isn't an instructional video at all. So first thing I did was turn the gas off at the tank, so I have no gas supply coming in here. Also, if I hooked to shore power, I would either unplug it here or turn off the breaker so there's no AC power coming in. And also you can turn off the DC power as well by turning your battery bank off, or there's probably a fuse, but I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to be very careful, not worry about the DC. It is fused, but basically you'd want to turn all your power and gas off. Don't do what I do. And there's this shielding needs to come off next, and there's just 3 screws that pull it off. Then we can get a look at the burner assembly in there. It just slides out. Also a tip, wear some gloves. This stuff, I've been cut so many times on this metal. Finally got smart after many years and put on some gloves when I'm working with it after so many cuts. And also let it cool down. It's going to be hot in here if you're out boondocking like me and your fridge has been running. So it looks like there's one more screw here to get this shielding off next. Yeah, just one screw, but it took a little bit of wrangling to kind of bend this back a bit just to get this out of there. But you can see what I'm talking about. There's quite a bit of stuff in there that's built up over the years down there. So next we'll get that burner tube out. Looks like there's just a screw back in there to take, and then it should slide out. There's the burner right in there along with the igniter. There we be. So you can see it really doesn't take much to get that burner out of there. It does look a little bit dirty in there. So we'll pull that out. And this is the gas tube that comes down here. So it comes out there. What I'm going to do before I disturb anything is I'm just going to put a piece of tape on there so I don't get any dust or debris in that nozzle. So basically the burner sits right here, and heat rises and goes up this flue. So in there's like a metal pipe which heats up inside. You can also see this is where, when you're on electric, this electric element goes in there and heats up that same metal pipe. So because the gas burns, it's like a chimney, debris can get up in there. So it's a good idea to kind of tap on that flue. You can get a screwdriver or something, and gently tap it with a hammer or whatever, and see how much stuff's falling out of there. Mine's pretty good, but you know, some people may get one that's really messed up, a lot of stuff coming out of there. You can see why it's important to check this. You can see I got a few bits of almost like grass or something in there. So if a bird gets in there and makes a nest all around that, you ignite your fridge and that blue flame comes on, and pretty soon stuff starts to burn. You get a lot of people getting fridge fires because of that. So it's important to inspect that every once in a while, especially if you've had it in storage for quite a while. You'll get a rodent nest or whatever in there. Anyway, I'm going to clean this up in a couple ways. I've got a shop vac that I carry. You can get a good shop vac of all that, and then I also have my Viair tire air compressor, and it can be set up to shoot a good blast of air in there. So I'll go in there and shoot up there and see if I can blow anything out in there as well. I don't have an accumulator tank for my Viair, but if I let it charge up, it gets a pretty good blast, as you can see. And I like to get it right into that flue so I can shoot compressed air up it and dislodge anything that might be in place. Then I have to wait for it to repressurize, so just get a shot every few seconds. Do that for the burner as well. I think what I'm going to do, just to give it a really good clean, is I'm going to soak it in some mineral spirits for a little while, then wash it out and dry it, and I can put it back in. Also want to check these burner grill, make sure nothing's broken or corroded, deteriorated in any way. Mine's pretty good though. I know it's pretty good because before I even got in there, the flame looked pretty good. Nice and clean. So we're going to put her back together. One thing the manual mentions is about this electrode here that does the sparking. I recommend a gap of between 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 of an inch between the end of the electrode and the burner. So they say you can use needle nose pliers to adjust that if necessary. We'll put that back in, and we'll have a look at our flame. Before I fire it up, I've turned the gas supply back on. I can use some of this leak checker and just coat the gas lines here just to make sure I don't have any leaks. It would show up as bubbles. I'm also going to try out my new gas detector, electronic gas detector. I did a video on this a little while ago. And I'll just put its sniffer near all the joints as well. Sort of a double safety thing just to make sure there's absolutely no leakage on any of those joints. Looks like I'm good to go. We got no bubbling, so no gas leaks. So we'll fire it up and we'll check what the flame looks like. I'd say that looks pretty good. Lots of blue. A little bit of yellow coming off that sparker. There we go, another little maintenance task done while we're out here boondocking. If you don't want to risk doing this yourself, because you are taking a risk, you may be voiding your warranty by messing around in here. I'd say though, at least take a peek in there with a flashlight every once in a while and check, just to make sure, like I say, there's no debris or nest buildup or anything like that. If you can get a peek in there and the flame looks nice and blue, you're probably okay. But a lot of people will recommend you want to take this in once a year and have the RV technicians go through and do that. They'll also, at that time, a lot of times they'll pressure check your gas supply. A lot of more in-depth stuff that I wouldn't do myself, so that's always a good option. But this is just a good thing that I do to try to keep my fridge running really well while we're out here boondocking. Nice and clean burner, clean flame, makes the fridge work a whole lot better. Till next time, Ray from loveyouRV.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.